At last, learn the real reasons why Jean Grey had to die. Tonight on MichaelFitzTroytv, Phoenix, the Untold Story, #1, by Chris Claremont, John Byrne, and Terry Austin, featuring the original, uncensored, never-before-published conclusion to the saga of Phoenix, plus exclusive interviews with Jim Shooter, John Byrne, Terry Austin, and Chris Claremont. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and let's get right into it. Alright, so how was that for a dramatic introduction? So I had this book when it came out in 7-Eleven. Like, it's so funny that this is like the reissue, 1984. So how long after, so this is probably like 2, 3, 4 years after Phoenix died. Oh my god, like, I got into comics with like Uncanny X-Men number like 163 was the first one I started collecting monthly. So Phoenix was long since dead. I didn't give two craps about her until this book came out, and then I was like, oh my god, I love this Phoenix. She's so awesome. But I kind of loved her as Dark Phoenix. You know what I mean? But then I got all the back issues, and I was totally fine with her. But she was dead to me anyway, so like I didn't really give a crap. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like as upset as like apparently everyone else was. But this is a gorgeous book. This is what we're looking at. This is the representation of, you know, the classic when Phoenix died, when Jean Grey died. But this is like, you know, what if she had lived, which Claremont and Byrne had intended for her. But Jim Shooter was like, no, she wiped out a population of, you know, 8 billion asparagus people. Like, she can't get away with that. Like, you can't mind wipe her and turn her into, like, a child, like, which is kind of cruel, right? Like, kill, lobotomize, or imprison. Like, I don't know. Like, where are we with, what about rehabilitation? You know, I mean, she was possessed. It wasn't Jean, or was it? I don't know. Anyway, gorgeous, amazing. Like, this is one of the most famous double page spreads. Like, Byrne and Austin were always bringing killer double page spreads. And I'm going to do a new version of it because I feel like I'm more, like, better with my, more better with my reviews. But the artist edition of, you know, what do you call it? The John Byrne's X-Men was where I fell in love with Terry Austin Sinks. Like, I think he is the unsung hero, and you will see so much of that. Like, with this Black with Stars. Like, chances are John Byrne just wrote BWS, and Austin is filling in all the black with the stars, and just, like, bringing beautiful textures and line work. I can't even imagine. Like, I feel like the original art for this double page spread just sold on Heritage auctions for like some insane amount, as it should. Like, you know, original comic book art is a dying breed as we move into the digital age, and you will see nothing more beautiful than if you hold an original artboard of comic work in your hand. Oh my god, I'm just so reminded of the beauty of, you know, let's not forget Claremont, the writer. Okay, the whole dream team is like here basically. So Chris Claremont, writer, John Byrne, co-writer, plotters, penciler, Terry Austin, inker, Tom Orzechowski, letterer, Glynis Swine, colorist, and Jim Salicrup and Louise Jones, editors. Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief, like all important players here, for better or worse. And you know who I'm talking about. But, like, what a great book, right? It's so beautiful. And actually, the thing that I love the most about this book is because, like, one of the annoying things about being a fan of John Byrne is, like, how he isn't crazy about Alpha Flight. And, like, I love it so much. Like, so it bothers me that, like, he would be so dismissive of it. But whatever, like, what do I care? Like, I still love it. But this, he said, just came together for him. Like, everything was perfect. Like, it was all as he had imagined it, and he was very happy with this. And I feel like artists are never happy with their books. But looking at this, like, you can't disagree with that. Like, the emotion on the faces, the acting of the characters, the direction, the cinematography, the I mean, it's so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. I would love to see the pencils for this, even though I love the Austin inks, like the stippling he brings and just like the line weight and just the beauty. Like, I mean, it just was a magical time in comic books. I always loved this scroll. I always thought it was funny how, like, the female scrolls were, that Byrne drew anyway, were always very pretty in spite of their, like, what do we even call it? Like, is that a ball chin? No, I've never seen balls that look like that, but, and I hope I never do. But, well, I don't know. Anyway, I always love the coloring on this too. You know, this is a before digital coloring, so like you're working with limited amount of colors, and I feel like Glynis Wein, née Oliver, was just like such a genius at that. Like evidence of that can be seen on her work with Bill Sienkiewicz on the New Mutants, and just like her color choices were just always spot on and just like so right for what she was working with. Like, look at this, like the like, oh my god, this just like jumps at you. Like, this is so beautiful. Like, and I love a Byrne Nightcrawler. And once again, it's so funny because Byrne, I won't go so far as to say like he disliked Nightcrawler, but I feel like he felt it was more like Dave Cockrum's character, which who doesn't love a Dave Cockrum Nightcrawler, right? But like, oh my god, but who doesn't love a John Byrne Nightcrawler or Angel or Beast or Wolverine, especially when he's stepping out of the shower with his towel on, baby. No, I'm just kidding. But like, look at what Austin's bringing as far as the texture and the carpet. And she's like, I'm your masseuse, sir. I may be crazy and alien, but look at my rockin' 70s body. Anyway, I love this too. I just love Storm. Nobody draws a better Storm than Byrne and Austin. I'm sorry. It's the truth. And this, I noticed, was kind of interesting how, and I didn't know if this was intentional, but I feel like it kind of might be. But, you know, Jean Grey has always had red hair, but it looks a little more auburn there. Another beautiful splash page. So, if you go to byrnerobotics.com, that reminded me of this because this is very much the first page of X-Men Hidden Years. Or not Hidden Years, X-Men Elsewhen, the fan fiction published by John Byrne for free on his website, which I've also covered that. Like, this will be part of my John Byrne, playlist, so watch them all if you're a Byrne fan. And I know you are. Because who isn't? I'm sorry. I love Byrne. Unapologetically, I will always love him. Another great panel. I'm just like, they gave it all. Like, it's all here. It is so good. I don't know how they managed to work in so much. And, like, it's cosmic. It's heartbreaking. It's a superhero. It's epic. It's groundbreaking. It's beautiful art on so many levels. You just look at, like, the storytelling going on, how Storm's head is, like, parallel to whatever her name is. I I was always kind of bothered by her, like, kind of mullet, but now I kind of am living for it. And then the Watcher. I just love the Watcher too, like how he's very much a part of the story in a way. Like, and I feel like he's usually innocuous, so that kind of makes this story unique to me. And I also love him, like, just throwing Wolverine through time, and like there's Wolverine, with dinosaurs and like maybe a little bit the primordial past. Like, when you think of a character like Wolverine, you think he's seen it all, and I think like these panels illustrate that fact. Love this character. I feel like that's a Dave Cockrum design. The Imperial Guard, obviously, very Storm reminiscent. Beautiful, beautiful art. So beautiful, you guys. Like, what a gift, right? Oh my gosh. Like, and I kind of, even though there's like problems with some of this printing, like, it's pretty clear. And I'm kind of loving this like Baxter paper that I think this is on. And I love this Kree character. Oh my gosh. This living for this it's so funny because this is like a 2-second Photoshop application, but you would have had to involve an overlay and just like all kinds of weird shit to make an effect like this happen. And that's what I love when you look at the comics of the 70s and 80s. And I feel like Neil Adams was definitely a pioneer as far as introducing tricks of the trade that were introduced in like advertising artwork. But you see a lot of that, like, you know, like with a Klaus Janson or a Bob Layton or Brett Breeding or even like somebody like Eric Larson was definitely using like a lot of like screen tones to their advantage and really just making it a part of their art. Could you imagine? Like, that would be kind of like, you know, Byrne's kind of like psycho in his old age. Like, could you imagine if like he went through and like added duo shade to like his old art or something like that? That would be kind of crazy. I think it would actually kind of ruin it. Like, I know that was so rando, so forgive me. But look at this texture in this panel back here. I like, these are the pages that I love. Like, she throws up like this miniature, like, telekinetic, like, what is it? Like a dust or a sand screen or something. Lunar dust, yes. And but you see their silhouettes. I don't know. Like, it's so good. Like, I just like you. Oh, I never realized how big. I felt it was so funny, and I was just thinking about this. And I know this is stuff you shouldn't think about, but I always realized, like, thought about that's more representative, like, of a John Byrne crotch, like how innocuous and flat and like sort of like action figure-y they are. But then we're getting some good bulge here. Sorry. Um, Other than that, like, it's just beautiful all around. I feel like everyone, and it's also weird is that like it had to be finished quickly. Like the ending was changed because they weren't gonna kill her. Um, and then Shooter was like, she has to die, so they had to like redo all that pretty quickly. And I mean, wow, right? If I feel like it's in the focus on Jim Byrne, they have the pencils of this, and they are stunning. They are just absolutely gorgeous. The emotional weight of this page is just like unbelievable. Ugh. And the hand there. It's funny because as a fan of Byrne, I never ever considered or thought of his weaknesses until I saw them mentioned on social media. And apparently, hands is allegedly one of his weaknesses. However, I love a John Byrne hand. And also his children, which I totally agree with. His children are super creepy. I'll give you that. But how do we feel about this? I don't know. Yeah, fuck the Shire anyway. Like, you're screwing Professor Xavier and you're gonna, like, lobotomize one of his children or kill them? Like, what the hell, Lilandra? Unholy alliance. I will tell you that. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And here's an interview, the Dark Phoenix tapes. I'm not gonna read it or anything. Don't worry. Buy it yourself. Find it on eBay. It's pretty cheap. It's a good book to have. I love it. I had it before the cover ripped off. Like, I think I abused it. Oh my god, I love that cover to Secret Wars. Anyway, beautiful, right? This would have been the splash page to 138. This beautiful shot of a lobotomized Jean playing with flowers in the water while Scott holds her slippers with a turtleneck. Instead, we get the funeral scene, which it is what it is. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button. I'll bring you more later.